Should you be nice? Should you strive to be kind, generous, and fair in a world that often rewards power over principle? You've probably heard the name Machiavelli, often used to describe someone cunning, manipulative, even ruthless. But was Machiavelli really against kindness? Or did he simply understand something most of us would rather ignore? Today we dive into Machiavelli's timeless and brutally honest take on what it means to be nice and whether it actually works. Niccolò Machiavelli was a 16th century Italian diplomat and philosopher, best known for his political treatise The Prince, a book so controversial it was banned by the Catholic Church for centuries. It's easy to think of Machiavelli as a villain, the original mastermind behind cold-hearted politics. But in reality, he was a realist, a man who had seen governments fall, leaders betray their ideals, and noble intentions lead to destruction. His goal? To teach rulers how to survive in a dangerous, unpredictable world. And survival, as Machiavelli saw it, didn't always leave room for being nice. Machiavelli didn't say you should never be nice. He just didn't think niceness should be your default strategy. In The Prince, he wrote, "A man who wishes to make a profession of goodness in everything must necessarily come to grief among so many who are not good." In other words, if you're always kind, always fair, always trusting, you'll be eaten alive by those who aren't. He believed that while being nice might make you popular for a time, it often makes you vulnerable, especially if you're in a position of leadership. Niceness, in Machiavelli's world, is a tool, not a virtue. This is the most famous question Machiavelli ever asked. Is it better to be loved or feared? His answer? It is much safer to be feared than loved if one must choose. Notice, if one must choose. Machiavelli didn't say you shouldn't be loved. In fact, being loved and feared is ideal. But when push comes to shove, fear is more reliable. Why? Because love is based on loyalty, which is fragile. People change their minds, follow their emotions, or abandon you when it's inconvenient. But fear is predictable. It keeps people in line when nothing else will. This doesn't mean being cruel or abusive. Machiavelli warned against hatred. He said, "A prince must make himself feared in such a way that if he is not loved, he is at least not hated. The goal is respect through strength, not cruelty for its own sake." Machiavelli believed that leaders who are too good, too honest, too generous, too forgiving, often end up exploited. Take generosity, for example. He argued that being overly generous leads to two bad outcomes. 1. You run out of resources. 2. People come to expect more and never appreciate what you've already given. Instead of winning loyalty, your generosity creates entitlement. And when you stop giving, they turn on you. The same goes for mercy. If you're too quick to forgive, you may encourage more wrongdoing, because people think there are no consequences. To Machiavelli, being nice often leads to weakness, and weakness invites chaos. But let's be clear, Machiavelli wasn't saying you should be cruel all the time. He actually praised rulers who appeared virtuous, even if they weren't. It is not necessary for a prince to have all the good qualities I have enumerated, but it is very necessary to appear to have them. In other words, look nice, appear kind, appear just, appear generous, because people judge by appearances. And if they believe you are good, you gain trust. Even if behind the scenes, you're making hard decisions. Machiavelli thought the best rulers used niceness strategically, not as a way of life, but as a mask. So should you be nice? Well, Machiavelli would probably say, yes, when it serves a purpose. Be kind to those who deserve it. Be generous when it builds alliances. Be forgiving when it earns loyalty. But never let your kindness become a trap. Never let your desire to be liked stop you from doing what's necessary. Sometimes being too nice can cost you everything. Your power, your peace, even your life. Niceness is good, but strength wrapped in wisdom, is better. So maybe the real question isn't, should I be nice? Maybe it's, can I be strong and kind without being naive? That's the line Machiavelli challenges us to walk. Thanks for watching. If this made you think, subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. And remember, in a world full of masks, wisdom is knowing when to wear yours.